Depression is a common illness. Based on statistics from World Health Organization (WHO), more than 264 million people affected with depression. Depression is classified as a mood disorder, and it is different from usual mood fluctuation. It may be described as feeling of sadness, loss, or anger that interfere with a person's everyday activities. It can cause the affected person to suffer greatly and function poorly at work, at school, and in the family. Thus, it may interfere with our daily work, resulting in lost time and lower productivity. At its worst, depression can lead to suicide. When it comes to suicide, we know that this illness is serious. The burden of depression and other mental health conditions is rise globally. Depression affects an estimated 1 in 15 adults in any given year, and 1 in 6 people will experience depression at some time in their life. Depression can occur at any time, but on average, first appear during the late teens or mid-20s. According to the National Institute Mental Health (NIMH) and World Health Organization (WHO), depression is more than twice as prevalent in women than men, but this ratio decreases with age. Starting in puberty, women are at the greatest risk for major depression and mental health. Fortunately, this illness is treatable. Above all, I believe that everyone experiences depression in many ways, such as through physical and emotional abuse, death or loss of loved one, and conflict with family and friends.
There are many factors that can cause depression, such as abuse, postpartum, certain medications, conflict, death, genetical issues, dramatic events in life, substance abuse, accident, or health issues. We're going to elaborate more about abuse, conflict, and death issues.
Firstly, I believe that death or loss of a family member or loved ones can be the factor of depression. Losses that may lead to grief include the death or separation of loved ones, pet, or any number of other changes in life. For some people, grief can lead to depression or make underlying depression worse. Anyone can experience grief and loss, but not everyone will experience clinical depression, which differs from grief. That depression involves a range of other symptoms, such as trouble thinking about anything than your loved one's death, feeling as if your life no longer has meaning, trouble trusting others, negative thoughts about future, and suicide. Grievers can also self-identify as being depressive, since they may mistakenly believe that this is a stage of grief. Actually, even though you may share similar emotions with others, there is no set pattern when it comes to grief, and there are no stages you go through. However, it's not uncommon for doctors to prescribe antidepressants, trying to help in the best way they know how. The problem here is that they are treating the presenting symptoms without dealing with the underlying issues of what is causing the pain. Emotional pain of any loss can be intense, whether you try to deal with this pain by hiding your feelings or by taking antidepressants to make them less intense. It still does nothing to process them. At the end of the day, the pain of grief will still be there. When you lost someone or something dear to you, it's natural to feel pain and grief. The grief process is normal and most people go through it. But when grief takes over your life and you begin to feel hopeless, helpless, and worthless, then it's time to talk to your doctor about telling the difference between normal grief and depression, because this is not a good sign for you. In short, I think that death or loss of a family member or loved ones can be a strong factor of depression.
Abuse can cause depression. First, let me define the definition of abuse. Abuse is commonly defined as any intentional action that harms or injures another person. In other words, someone who purposely harms another person is guilty of abuse. There are many types of abuse such as sexual abuse, physical abuse, and also financial abuse. Abuse can cause one or more psychological or medical illnesses. Victimized people commonly develop emotional or psychological problems secondary to their abuse, including depression. It is said that depression is only anger turned inward. People who have been emotionally abused have a tendency to give up on emotions since they have shown to be so harmful. They have been beaten down by the emotions of others and struck through the heart by their own emotions in response. There was no safety, just anger, fear, and shame. Individuals who suffer from depression experience persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness, and they also lose their interest in the activities they once enjoyed. In addition to the emotional problems caused by depression, individuals can also present with many symptoms such as lost appetite, decreased energy or being slowed down, chronic pain, and also headache. The example of abuse are put downs by calling your names or telling you that you are stupid, publicly embarrassing you, or blaming you for everything, and also verbal abuse by yelling at you, insulting you, or swearing at you. Furthermore, financial abuse adversely impacts your mental health. Many people from all over the world are dealing with financial stress and uncertainty at this difficult time. Whether your problems stem from a loss of work, escalating debt, and also unexpected expenses. Financial worry is one of the most common stressors in modern life. Even before the global coronavirus pandemic and resulting economic fallout, an American Psychological Association (APA) study found that 72% of Americans feel stressed about money at least some of the time. The recent economic difficulty mean that even more of us are now facing financial struggles. Financial abuse can take a huge toll on your mental and physical health. For example, borrowing money and not giving it back, and stealing money or belongings. The stress of debt or other financial issues leave you feeling depressed or anxious. This difficulty in managing money will worsen your mental health problems. You will become trapped in a downward spiral of increasing money problems and declining your
the
mental
factor
health.
of depression in the perspective of personal, depression may occur because of overthinking. Think about life, love, and also other things that cannot be solved. When some people think a lot and become stressed about it, it will disturb their mental health. On the other hand, from the perspective of family, the main cause of depression is family problem. A conflict from parent and also sibling can create many issues. For example, parent separation make messy for their kid growing situation. Kid become confused which person they need to follow. Child cannot accept all this since they still need love from their lovely parent. Besides, in the work environment, there are variety of behavior among the colleagues. Some of them may be hot-tempered and also could be too much pushing. As a lot unfinished tasks can create depression in you. You need to deal with many environments, including standby for working out of office hours. Intelligent and hardworking workers will not see it as a problem, but chaotic workers see it as a worst thing. The depression depressed about it.
Above all, it is clear that people experience depression in many different ways. Some people experience through physical or emotional abuse, some people through death or loss of a loved one, and some people through conflict with family and friends. As we know, this illness is treatable, so there are many ways to prevent depression. Firstly, get enough sleep. There is a strong link between depression and insomnia. Too little sleep affects mood, contributing to get depression. Vital functions occur during different stages of sleep that leave you feeling rested and energized or help you learn and forge memories. A good night's sleep makes you able to tackle the day's stress more easily. When you are tired, you are less patient and more easily agitated, which can increase stress. We need at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Secondly, make sure to reach out to family and friends when times get hard. This is just to make sure we have someone to talk and to share our problems. Studies have shown that simply talking about our problem and sharing our negative emotion with someone we trust can be profoundly healing and reducing physical and emotional distress. Thirdly, get regular medical checkup. Get help if you think you are depressed. By undergoing a personal examination of your life, your relationship, and your feelings, you can gain a much better understanding of yourself and those around you. This in turn will help to reduce the frustration you feel from various sources and to manage your emotion much more competently. J.K. Rowling said it's so difficult to describe depression to someone who never been there because it's not sadness. Sadness is to cry and to feel, but it's that cold, absence of feeling that really hollow out feeling.